Here's something most people are afraid to admit. When someone keeps crossing your mind over and over again, it's rarely one-sided. And no, this isn't about fairy tales or some invisible soulmate fantasy. It's about human connection. The kind that lingers. The kind that quietly shifts two people at the same time. When a person refuses to leave your thoughts, it usually means the connection didn't end where the conversation did. Let's be honest. You try to distract yourself. You scroll. You work. You laugh with friends. And then out of nowhere, he's there again. You see a random meme and think, he would find this hilarious. You hear a song, and immediately picture him driving with it playing. You walk past a place you once talked about, and feel that familiar tug in your chest. And the worst part? You start questioning yourself. Why am I still thinking about him? Does he even think about me? Is this just me holding on to something that's already gone for him? Pause right there. Because here's what most people don't realize. When a connection is real, thoughts don't travel in only one direction. He might not talk about it. He might not post about it. He might not text you. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. There are quiet moments in his day. Small, unguarded moments. Where something reminds him of you. Waiting in line. Driving alone at night. Lying in bed with the lights off. And nothing to distract him. That's when thoughts get loud. And that's when you show up. Not because he forces it. But because something in him hasn't closed that chapter either. When someone leaves an emotional imprint, it changes your standards. He might meet new people. He might try to move forward. But somewhere in his mind, there's a quiet comparison happening. She's nice, but it doesn't feel the same. That was fun, but it didn't hit like it did with her. Once someone becomes a feeling instead of just a memory, they're hard to replace. And if you can't stop thinking about him, chances are he hasn't replaced that feeling either. Silence isn't empty. When two people have unfinished energy, it's loud. There are moments he probably opens your chat, and scrolls. Moments he types something, and deletes it. Moments he wonders if reaching out would make things better, or worse. Overthinking doesn't belong to just one gender. Sometimes the reason he hasn't reached out isn't because he doesn't care. It's because he cares. And doesn't know what to risk. Ever notice how thinking about someone can instantly change your mood? He feels that too. There are days he feels restless. And doesn't fully understand why. Days he feels nostalgic. For no clear reason. Days something feels missing. But he can't explain what. You're part of that equation. When someone occupies mental space, they affect emotional space too. At some point, if you continue to cross his mind, he has to ask himself, why does she still matter? Why does this still feel unfinished? Was that just attraction? Or was it something deeper? And once someone starts questioning your meaning in their life, they can't go back to seeing you as ordinary. You move from background noise to something significant. Even if he hasn't said it out loud. But here's the honest truth. Just because he feels it doesn't mean he'll act immediately. People have pride, fear, timing issues, past wounds, responsibilities. Feeling something and acting on it are two different battles. But don't confuse silence with absence of emotion. If you're thinking about him constantly, and the connection was real, it's very unlikely you're the only one carrying it. So what should you do? First, stop calling yourself crazy. Your mind doesn't fixate without reason. Here's something most people are afraid to admit. When someone keeps crossing your mind over and over again, it's rarely one-sided. And no, this isn't about fairy tales or some invisible soulmate fantasy. It's about human. Second, don't let thinking about him consume your identity. A connection should add to your life, not pause it. And finally, understand this. If it's mutual, clarity will eventually surface. Energy doesn't stay unspoken forever. Feelings don't stay buried forever. Unfinished stories tend to reopen. Or finally close. But they don't just disappear. So instead of asking, does he think about me? Ask yourself something more powerful. If he does, what kind of love do I actually deserve? Because sometimes the bigger lesson isn't whether he feels it. It's whether you're ready for something that feels certain, not just intense. And that's the part nobody talks about.